He's John Bristow. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee. The KGO radio news time is 6:47, and we are constantly hearing about California's budget woes, the cuts being made. But have you ever wondered exactly where your tax dollars go? Well, a group of Stanford students now creating a web portal designed to make it easier for us to see just that. And on the KGO Live Line is Dakin Slossie, is president of California Common Sense. Good morning. So give us a little bit of an idea of what this portal is designed to do.
Thank you so much for having me. I encourage people to go online and explore the Transparency Portal. It's an interactive way for people to see large public data sets like expenditures, employee compensation, other things like that about the state's finances, and find the stories and the data that they're interested in, whether it's how much lifeguards are being compensated or how much we're spending on operating expenses in a particular department.
So how did we get this information? How did this project come about?
So the project's been going on for about a year. It's a group of Stanford students that are really interested in empowering the citizens of California by giving them knowledge that is not currently out there, because a lot of this data has to be acquired through public records requests. And most of the stuff that's up there is through that, either public records requests we've made or people have made in the past.
I'm checking out just the summary of California finances that you have, and you go through everything from, it looks like, healthcare to education and what has the most funding in it and which has the least funding in it.
Yes, exactly. And then we also show a comprehensive history over the last 30 years for each of those agencies or areas of expenditures, so that people can get a sense of what's growing, what's staying the same, what's the relationship between number of employees and how much we're paying them, those sorts of issues.
So you have all kinds of data on California government agencies, but you didn't limit it to just California, right?
No, we thought a really cool idea would be to put up the same data for every state we could get it. So there's actually data for 40 states around the country up there, and people can make apples-to-apples comparisons for the first time in history, seeing how different states compare in terms of how much they're spending on certain priorities.
Did you find any surprises in certain areas where California compared to other states? Were we pretty close, or were we far off?
I mentioned lifeguards as one. If you go into the state-by-state comparison, we're paying lifeguards quite a bit compared to other states. You can find similar things for custodians in the judicial branch, consultants in the judicial branch, correctional officers in general, things like that.
Was it hard to get any of this information? Was there some walls that were put up while you tried to gather it all?
Oh, it was quite difficult. We submitted a request 3 months ago to every single state entity because we were told by the Department of Finance that no central checkbook existed. That's what we were trying to get, the state's checkbook. And then ultimately the request was denied for this detailed information. The governor's office said that they denied our request because it was so onerous that the public interest served by not disclosing the records clearly outweighed the public interest served by the disclosure of the records. As you can imagine, this was a little bit shocking to us, that basically shining sunlight on the government's finances was considered not in the public interest.
Well, we're glad that you got the information, and we will go ahead and link your website up to ours. Yours is the www.cacs.org, and we will link that to kgoradio.com. Thanks for your time, Dakin.
I'd also like to just mention that most of our requests has actually still been denied. We've put up most of the data, or all of the data that we've received, but at this point, we have not received the detailed checkbook, and we urge people to ask for this data because it seems pretty contrary to the mission of transparency that we're promoting for the governor's office not to release that information.
All right. Well, that's Dakin Slossie, as president of California Common Sense.